Good day, citizens, Vikings, Tingmen, and Shield Maidens. I'm Erik the Cat McKetten, your friendly bearded space Viking, and this is a tutorial introduction to the Star Citizen Persistent Universe of Patch 2.5 Alpha. First of all, we're going to look at the options on the main menu screen. You have Universe, which takes you to Area 18 ArcCorp, which is the social module, or Crusader, which is the Persistent Universe. You have Electronic Access, which will take you into Arena Commander, which is a in-game video game where you can fly your ship around in both online or Spectrum match mode or offline and drone sim mode. Go to Hangar takes you to your in-game hangar where you can personalize your ship. Options are the game options. Primary game options include choosing your hangar if you own more than one, turning on or off cinematic cameras, subtitles, alternating between flight lead pip reticule and what is known as a target lead indicator. A target lead indicator is a box or circle that flies in front of your target showing you where to aim, whereas a pip or projected impact point is a target or box that flies behind your crosshair showing you where your rounds will hit when you fire. If you turn this on, you get the one that leads in front. If you leave it off, you get the one that trails behind. Flight targeting ESP is called Enhanced Stick Precision. It is a system that dampens the output of your joystick, gamepad, or mouse if you're in virtual joystick mode, so that as you get closer to being on target, your movements are more precise. It is basically an assisting to your aiming, and it does not currently work in 2.5, but when it does work, it is very helpful and improves the flight characteristics for pretty much anybody using a joystick or gamepad or VJoy mouse, and I highly recommend you leave this on no matter what you're using. Under graphics, you have your resolution, full screen or not, your quality, gamma, brightness, contrast. When it comes to quality settings, they make very little difference in performance. Unless you're running a lower end card, then you might find that dropping it down to medium or low does give you some frame rate improvement. Audio settings, you got your sound effects volume, your music volume, speech, computer speech, which is different from NPC speech, and dynamic range. Dynamic range has Star Citizen attempt to adjust the volume of various sound sources dynamically so as to not overload you. If it's set to 0, it doesn't do this at all, and it can get quite loud in-game, especially during battles. I highly recommend leaving it at 100. On your controls options, you can choose between mouse, gamepad, or joystick, up to 4 different joystick devices. That includes your pedals and your second joystick or your throttle. And these various settings allow you to invert the axes individually. You can have one inverted for on foot, but you can have it normal for when you're flying, etc. It also allows you to control the various sensitivity settings of your mouse, again, based on the various inputs. So you can have your mouse be very sensitive when you're on foot and hardly sensitive at all when you're flying. Under key bindings, you can see the default key bindings for mouse and keyboard, and you can zoom in on them. You can choose between flight, extravehicular activity, or EVA, that's flying around in zero gravity, and on foot, which is walking around on your feet. Additionally, there are settings for gamepad and joystick, and under advanced controls customization, you can set your own buttons however you want to do so. We'll leave that alone for now and go with default. So let's go into Crusader. To do that, we click on Universe, Crusader, and then we choose an instance if we have more than one listed. If you have more than one listed, it's because down here on your friends list, you have friends that are online and in the universe. Like here, I've got Chris, who is in an instance of Crusader with 23 out of 24 players. Fairassault, who is in one with 24 out of 24. It's Manny, 24 out of 24. Mad Dog, 19 out of 24. So I could attempt to join Mad Dog or Chris if I wanted to, because they are not in full instances. In this case, though, I'm just going to click Quick Join and launch. When you spawn into Crusader, you will wake up in your bed in a habitat or HAB module. You stand up, probably in your civilian clothing, and begin your new life in the verse. Immediately to our left is a locker where we can put on our spacesuit. But for now, we're going to wear our regular civvies. You can press F4 to cycle between first and third person views, and press Z to toggle free look. When free look is on, you cannot interact with the environment, so press Z again to toggle it off. Use F12 to bring up your chat if it isn't already open, and the enter key to type into chat, and enter again to send. F1 opens your mobi glass interface. The mobi glass is the smartphone of the future and offers all sorts of possible interactions. The ones we are concerned with are your journal, which gives you useful information, such as an introduction to Port Alsar, basic tutorial here, and a safety warning from Crusader Industries that says that there are pirates out there if you're outside the communications network. Click down here to go back. The other one we are concerned with is the MG scheduler or your mission manager. Here we have a list of the various missions available to us right now. Since we're just starting out, we're going to take one of the easy, most common missions, which is repair an array. If you'll notice on the description, it tells you what they're looking for. Hired temporary contract system technicians to assist in the maintenance of comm arrays located near Crusader. A reward of 1,000 Alpha UEC is available if you complete this mission. F11 will bring up your contact list, and pressing right Alt plus / key gives you a cursor to interact with it. Then you can try to add a contact. We'll try to add hello. Hello does exist. It says contact added. You can also click on your current contacts and invite them to a party or remove them. If they're green, obviously means they're online. If they're not green, they're not online. Let's go ahead and find hello again, since we don't know who he really is, and remove him from our list. Once we're done, you press 11 to close the contact, and once again, Alt / or ? To close the cursor. If the cursor is open, you cannot interact with the world. But let's focus on flying. Head out of the module and down the stairs. Stopping first to get some pips to drink and some Big Benny's noodles for a nice snack. No, you can't interact with those yet. It is a feature that has been demanded heavily, though. So you go down the stairs, and you're going to find through a set of doors these consoles which allow you to choose your ship. So you press F to interact with this, and F is going to be your primary key for most actions in-game. And then you'll get a list of your ships if you have more than one, or if you just have one, probably an Aurora or a Mustang as a starter. You get that, you click on the ship, you click Request Ship, and it's going to tell you which landing pad.
Your ship is currently being delivered to the launch platform.
Mine is at launch platform Alpha 02. This is also very useful if you don't know which landing strut you are on, as there are 4 landing struts at Port Alsar right now, Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, and Delta. And if it tells you, Alpha 02, you know you're on strut Alpha right away. You don't have to look up at these signs that say Alpha, Bravo, Delta, Charlie, etc. It makes it easy to also tell your friends where you're at. So my ship is on landing pad A2. If I look around here, I can see that 00 through 04 is that way, 10 is that way. I also noticed that I have 2 holographic indicators up here on my HUD. One is the RSI Aurora LN. That's my ship. It's 63 meters away. The other is Restore Uplink. That's my mission. The missions and important locations, waypoints, are denoted by triangles. Your ship is denoted by a circle. So if I go this way, I head out to the airlock. At the airlock, I'm greeted by a large warning sign. Unfortunately, I can't read, so I don't know what it means. We're just going to head inside. Once again, you use F to cycle the airlock on the console. Approach the console within the airlock. Press F to cycle it again. And, oh, that's right. That's what that warning meant. You need a spacesuit to go out into the vacuum of space. Remember that closet in the HAB module? We can put our suit on there. Conveniently, there's also a spot for that right outside of the airlock as well. Fortunately, though, permadeath is not in yet. So when we die, we just respawn back at the entrance in our HAB module. We have 2 ways to check if we have our spacesuit on. The simplest is, if it is on, you should see some part of the helmet in your field of view. But if you don't trust that, simply use F4 to switch to third-person mode. If we don't have it on, we either use the closet in the HAB module or the closet besides the airlock. Click F and it will load your current default spacesuit. Now we can go through the airlock. If you notice, in the top left corner of my screen, there are two indicators now that I'm wearing my spacesuit and I can see my helmet. The one on the left looks like a Wi-Fi signal attached to a satellite. That tells me I am in monitored space. Monitored space means if I commit a crime, such as destroying somebody else's spaceship or killing somebody, I will be marked as a criminal. The one on the right has a bullet with a line through it. That tells me I'm in an armistice zone, which means I cannot use or fire my weapons here. And here at the airlock, this is the closet, the airlock that we could use to put on our spacesuit. But as you can see, there is a helmet indicator. We have our heads-up display on, as well as you can see the base of the helmet at the bottom of my screen, which tells me I am wearing my spacesuit. Recycle the airlock once again by using the use key, which is F by default. Once outside, we follow the marker to our ship. Here on the landing pad, as well as in our personal hangar, we can configure our ship to our liking, using the port modification tool that's built into our mobi glass. To do this, we approach any of these indicators you see on the screen, get your crosshair on it, and click. When you click, you'll bring up the mobi glass interface, which lists the various items that can be mounted on that port and gives you the option to remove your current item and mount new ones. I highly recommend that if you're going to mount a new item, you want to remove the current one first. It will swap them out if you don't, but it can lead to problems. Do a walk around on my ship to make sure I have weapons and missiles equipped, and I do. And be forewarned, the port modification tool is brand new and still being worked on. Things can and will go wrong, and there is no easy way to reset things to default. In general, the recommended way to fix it if things go wrong is to load your hangar and edit your ship in there, and then test your ship in free flight mode. Access from the main menu under electronic access and then drone sim. Okay, so we have our ship configured, and it's time to take off. Each ship has a different location for entrance. Most single-seater ships have a use command somewhere near the cockpit. Find the use prompt and click F to enter. In some ships, like this Aurora, the first click of F opens the door. Then we have to click F again to enter the ship. Once inside, if the ship allows you to walk around, you will need to approach the pilot's seat and press F again to sit down. To get out of the chair and most other seated positions, you hold down the F key until the animation starts to play. It will take a few seconds for our ship to boot up. Apparently, SSDs do not improve in performance over 900 years. Once our ship is booted, we can lift off by, in most cases, using the strafe up command, spacebar by default. Some landing zones may require you to strafe up slightly to get your gear off the deck and then move forward using the throttle, which is W key by default. Once we have cleared the landing zone, we need to raise our gear because there are 3 flight modes for non-quantum speed flight. Precision, or landing mode, denoted here on your heads-up display by pre, Space Combat Mode, or SCM, and Cruise Mode, or CRU. Precision mode governs and limits the output of your thrusters to make it easier for precision maneuvering, such as landing or flying through tight spots. SCM mode is the default flight mode that balances speed and maneuverability. Cruise mode allows you to go as fast as your ship can travel without using special engines such as the quantum or jump drives, but severely reduces your ability to maneuver. When we raise our gear by pressing the N key,
landing gear raised,
we can now switch from precision to SCM mode if raising the gear did not switch it by default. To switch between these modes, the key to toggle these is V. You can tell which mode you will toggle to by watching the indicator on the HUD. If the arrow points down to pre, you're going to enter precision mode. If it points up to space combat mode or up to CRU for cruise mode, you're going to enter those respectively. In general, if you are decelerating or stopped, you will switch to the lower mode by pressing V. If you are accelerating or at full speed, you will switch to the next higher mode. If you are in cruise or precision mode, you will automatically switch to the middle mode or space combat mode. All right, we're in the air. We have a mission waypoint because we used our mobi glass. How do we get to it? First, we press B to bring up the quantum drive navigation heads-up display.
Stand by.
From there, we are given a list of waypoints we can jump to. If you find it difficult to read these waypoints, you can zoom in using the mouse wheel, as well as rotate your ship 90 degrees to change the orientation of the text. When we point our crosshair on the waypoint, if it is green, we can jump straight to it. If it is amber, it is blocked and we may need to find another route. In this case, it is being blocked by Crusader, so we are going to find another route. We're going to first go to Cryastro, and then we'll jump to Comaray 625. So Cryastro is green, so we press F to quantum leap. Now we are here at Cryastro. We're going to press B once again to bring up our navigation HUD. We're going to navigate until we see where we need to go. And we're going to press F to quantum leap once again.
Stand by, scanning.
We are immediately beset upon by pirates.
Stand by, scanning.
Stick around.
Combat in Star Citizen is fairly straightforward. If you have more than one weapons group, like I do on my Aurora LN, your primary fire button, which is mouse 1 on the mouse, or usually your trigger button on your joystick, fires your primary weapon group, and your secondary, which is mouse 2, or button 2 on a joystick usually, fires your secondary weapons. If you have missiles, you lock on by pressing the middle mouse button and fire by holding it down.
Target acquired. Stand by for shields.
Run and you die. Fight and you die.
If missiles are launched at you, you can toggle your countermeasures between flares, which is denoted by the flame icon, and chaff, which is denoted by the Wi-Fi looking icon, by pressing
Chaff
G.
Selected.
You can launch the countermeasures by holding down G.
Chaff away. Flare selected.
Chaff is used to prevent what are known as cross-section missiles from maintaining target lock on you. Cross-section missiles, when they are launched at you, will flash with a red Wi-Fi signal. And flares are used to distract or prevent infrared missiles and electromagnetic
radar contact
missiles from tracking you. Infrared missiles are denoted by a flame icon. Electromagnetic missiles are denoted by...
We don't want any civilian casualties here.
By a lightning bolt icon. Some additional commands that you need to know about when engaging in combat include how to target your enemy. Pressing T will target your nearest hostile, while Y will cycle through the hostile targets. Pressing U will cycle through the friendly targets, and pressing I will cycle through all targets. Okay, so we've killed the bad guys. Now it is time to complete our mission. We still have our icon that says to restore the uplink, so we need to figure out how to get inside this satellite. There's the entrance. It's quite bright because I have my headlights on. If I want to turn my headlights off, I press left Alt and T. Now I've come to a complete stop. I hold down the F key to get out.
System critical.
And now I'm going to enter EVA mode when I leave my ship. EVA mode is slightly different than regular walking mode, but it uses pretty much the same keys as flight or walking does. Instead of jump, spacebar is go up, control is go down, A and D are strafe left and right, and W and S are forward and back, as well as Q and E control your roll. Since space is dangerous, I'm going to pull out my gun. You choose your guns by pressing 1, 2, or 3, assuming you have bought some. If you don't own any guns yet, you might have to wait until you complete a few missions so you can buy them. If for some reason the guns are not functioning properly, you can't shoot them, you can't interact with them, hold down the V key to holster the weapon and try pulling it out again. Additionally, if you run into similar issues, pressing F1 to bring up the mobi glass and then pressing F1 again to remove the mobi glass can sometimes fix these bugs. Once again, this is an alpha. If you have a gun like my current one that has multiple firing modes, you can cycle those by pressing the C key. Now I'm in burst fire mode. Okay, so I've entered our dark shutdown comm array. I'm going to press T to turn on my flashlight. I'm going to fly down to the uplink icon, press F to interact. The uplink has been turned on, and we have completed our first mission. Ah, and see that icon that just popped up on the screen there? It means I am now in monitored space. When the comm link was down, this was unmonitored space, meaning criminals could have gotten away with any crime they wanted to. Now I'm going to use the waypoint indicator to return to my ship, get back on my ship, and since we've got some credits, let's go shopping. But what happens if I've taken some damage, I've used my missiles, some of my flares and chaff are gone, and I need to rearm? Well, I press B to bring up my quantum drive HUD, and I look for a service station, Cry Astro Service. F to get there. Quantum leap. And as I get close to the station...
Thanks for stopping by Cry Astro. The Empire's repair, refuel, and restocking one-stop solution. Taking a look at your ammo counters, looks like you could use some restocking.
I get greeted by the station master. I press N
Landing gear
to
deployed.
enter landing mode. This also puts me in precision flight mode so I don't crash. When this happens, it highlights the various landing pads I can use. Blue or green if they are available for me. Amber if they are not for my ship. In this case, it is pointing me to this one right in front of me, and you can see on the radar, I have icons showing me how to get there. The beeping gets louder as I get closer.
Landing request approved.
Once I get close enough, everything turns from red to blue or green, and I get the prompt to hold in to auto land. So I do just that. I hold down the N key until
Engaging
landing is
autopilot.
complete. If I let go, it will abort the auto landing.
Landing complete.
And there we go. I have landed. Now I can choose from Cryastro's menu to repair, restock, and refuel my ship. Because quantum
Starting
leaping
repairs
does
now.
use fuel.
Stand
The repair
by.
bots come out.
Restocking ammunition.
They fix anything wrong with my ship.
Beginning fueling.
Restock my ammunition.
The team at Cry Astro thanks
Fuel me
you.
up.
Hope to see you soon.
And now I can take off by strafing up. Once I get up high enough, I press N to get out of landing mode and go into space combat maneuvering mode, and I'm ready to go. Speaking of fuel, how does quantum fuel work? Well, first of all, it's indicated right down here on your HUD under QF, well, how much you have left. But that's in units, and that doesn't necessarily mean anything to us. What we need to know is how much is being consumed per jump. When we bring up the quantum HUD, we get that information. If you zoom in here on my target, it says QF 1%. That means it will use 1% of the current amount of quantum fuel I have. And at the top there, it says how much quantum fuel I have left, which is 100%. So if I jump there, I'm going to be at 99% when I get there. Press F to quantum leap. And I'm now at 99%. There are stores located at both Port Olisar and Grimhex. Additionally, there are stores in Area 18, Art Court, which you can access from your universe menu or from the elevator in your hangar. Approach the item you're interested in. There you are given a context-sensitive use prompt. Use the middle mouse button to scroll through the options and click the F button to select one. So simple, even a console player could do it. Now, let's look at some of the more advanced functions of our ship. First of all, you don't need to have a waypoint to make a quantum leap. You can bring up your quantum leap HUD by pressing B, and then when pointed at open space, press F to leap.
Quantum travel.
I caution you to immediately press F again once the leap has begun. If you wait too long, you can fly out into open space, off the game map, and you will be destroyed.
Quantum travel.
This is a very effective method, however, for short leaps of 20 to 50,000 kilometers. You can adjust power to your various systems, G1, G2, and G3 on your multifunction display or your heads-up display by using the 1, 2, and 3 keys respectively. 1 is for G1 or your weapons. More power here means faster recharge rate for your weapons. 2 is for G2 or your shields. More power here means faster recharge rate for your shields. And 3 is for G3 or avionics. More power here means a slightly faster recharge rate on your boost fuel for your engines. Pressing 0 will reset these back to their default settings. Note, increasing power to 1 will reduce power to the others. A pilot can manage his shields by pressing the numpad keys. 8, 4, 6, and 2 raise the power of the fore, port, starboard, and aft shields at a cost of reducing power to the rest. Numpad 7 and 9 adjust the top and bottom shields if your ship happens to have them. Numpad 5 will reset shields to default configuration.
Shields recharging.
Should you find yourself in a situation where you need to die, holding down right Alt plus backspace will initiate self-destruct.
Shields recharging. Self-destruct initiated.
Holding it down again will cancel the self-destruct order. If you have a ship that is capable of it, double tapping right Alt plus L will cause you to eject.
Danger. System overheating.
And if you find yourself in a sticky situation, such as you've ejected from your ship but the canopy didn't open, holding down right Alt plus backspace again will commit suicide, allowing you to respawn. Now, those are the basics to get you going in Star Citizen Alpha 2.5. There's so much more to explore in this world, but I'm going to leave it up to you to find it all. I highly recommend you use F12 to keep that chat open. Ask questions, learn about space and all the options. Visit Area 18 in your hangar. Try out Vandal Swarm and the other Arena Commander modes. It is also helpful to make friends. Join in an organization such as Test Squadron. Watch Star Citizen streamers. And, most important, Welcome to the verse. It's good to have you along for the ride, citizen.